Every guy has heard it at some point. Just be yourself. And it's probably the most useless piece of advice ever handed out with good intentions. Not because being authentic is bad, it's because the advice skips the actual work entirely. Nobody tells you which version of yourself, the anxious one, the confident one, the one who overthinks every text. Today, why that advice fails most guys, and what actually needs to happen instead. Let's get into it. First, understand that yourself isn't fixed, it's a range. You're not one static personality, you're a spectrum, capable of showing up anxious and small in one context, and grounded and magnetic in another, sometimes within the same single day. Just be yourself assumes there's only one version to access, when really, the work is about learning to access the best version of that range on purpose, instead of whichever version shows up automatically when you're nervous or caught off guard. Second, most guys who just are themselves are actually just running on default settings, and default settings are usually built from insecurity, not authenticity. The nervous rambling, the over-apologizing, the seeking approval after every sentence, that's not some pure, authentic self. That's a set of habits built from years of trying to avoid rejection and criticism. Being yourself without doing any work just means being your most anxious habits on autopilot, and calling that authentic doesn't make it any less limiting. Third, real authenticity requires editing, not just expressing. A good writer doesn't publish the first draft, they revise it. Cut what doesn't serve the piece, sharpen what does, without becoming a different writer in the process. Your personality works the same way. Editing which parts of yourself you lead with isn't fake, it's just intentional. Choosing to lead with your calm side instead of your anxious side isn't lying about who you are. It's presenting the version of yourself you actually want to be more often, and want other people to actually get to meet. Fourth, confidence isn't found. It's built through reps, and being yourself without any reps just means staying stuck at whatever level you started at. You don't discover a confident version of yourself sitting around waiting to be authentic. You build it through actual practice, actual conversations, actual moments where you choose the grounded response instead of the anxious one, over and over, until it stops feeling like a choice and starts feeling like who you are. Fifth, the advice fails because it doesn't account for skill. Talking to people, reading a room, holding a boundary. These are skills, not fixed traits you either have or don't, no different than any other ability that improves with deliberate practice. Telling someone to just be themselves when they haven't developed the skill yet is like telling someone to just play guitar naturally without ever picking one up and expecting music to come out anyway. Skills require deliberate practice, and pretending that's not true doesn't make the practice unnecessary, it just delays it further. Sixth, what actually works is choosing which traits to reinforce and which to let fade. You have real qualities in you already: patience, humor, curiosity, groundedness. But which ones show up depends heavily on which ones you practice expressing in real situations. If you keep leading with self-doubt because that's the loudest voice in your head, self-doubt gets reinforced through repetition. If you deliberately practice leading with curiosity instead, even when doubt is still there underneath the surface, curiosity becomes the trait that shows up first over time, simply because it's the one you kept choosing. Seventh, this isn't about becoming fake. It's the opposite. The goal isn't to construct a mask. It's to strip away the layer of anxiety and old habits that's currently obscuring who you actually are underneath all of that noise. Most guys aren't hiding their true self behind confidence. They're hiding their true self behind nervousness. And the confident version, once built, usually feels more like coming home than like performing a role. Eighth, this process takes deliberate discomfort, not passive waiting. You don't become the grounded version of yourself by hoping it emerges naturally over time. You become it by choosing the harder response in real moments, staying calm when you want to over-explain, holding a boundary when you want to cave, speaking up when you want to stay quiet. Each one of those choices, repeated enough times, is what actually reshapes which version of you shows up automatically. So here's the real version of this advice. Don't just be yourself. Build the version of yourself worth being. Understand that you're a range, not a fixed point. Recognize that your defaults are often built from insecurity, not authenticity. Edit deliberately instead of expressing whatever shows up first. Put in actual reps instead of waiting for confidence to appear on its own. Treat social skill like the skill it actually is, one that improves with practice like anything else. Reinforce the traits you want to lead with through repeated practice, not through hope. And trust that the process of building this isn't fake. It's just uncovering who you actually are underneath everything that's currently in the way. That's not becoming someone else. That's becoming who you were supposed to be before the noise got in the way. Peace.